take number 3. So number 3 is mine, but actually if you have like number 1, number 2, number 3 questions, you can go directly to hosts, but also raise your hands if you are here. And we will manage the questions online. So it is that everyone is accepted, even though you guys, if you are connected to us here in the room throughout, most easiest way would be YouTube with Latvijas armija, which means Latvian army, of course. Just use this small tag and you will be together with us. And of course, share the interesting parts of today's sessions later on as well. Now, business is good, but then if there are no opportunities for a business, then it's not good, right? So on a cyber business, there are always good trends, next and next opportunities, and all of this is somehow safeguarded by European Cybersecurity Organization. And we are extremely happy to have Secretary General here. So Mr. Luigi Rebuffi, the floor is yours to frame today's sessions, which will come later, but probably these nice opportunities should be the name we should stick to. So let me shake your hand. Actually, it's a high official here on the stage, so please.
Thank you very much for having me today. Yes, it's the first time in Riga, so I'm pleased to be here with you and visit the city and so on. So, cybersecurity, I'm Luigi Rebuffi, I'm the Secretary General and founder of European Cybersecurity Organization, which has been created in 2016 for a public-private partnership with the European Commission, but eventually became public-private partnership with all the different member states, public and private organizations. And also Women for Cyber, because it happens I had to be the founder also of Women for Cyber back in 2019, and it happens that a man also takes care of certain issues linked with women. But okay, let me see that, let me show you something about the business. We had recently a project, 2 years ago, the project with the European Commission to support the NCC, National Cooperation Centers, among others, and the communities. And we made a market analysis for this, so let me say if it is working, yes. A market analysis, and I show you some very quickly results of this, because this set the scenes of where is the business, where is the business. If you do a top-down view, top-down means that this is the data that usually the user see. When you're a user and you buy solution or services, this is the amount of money that is the market. When you do the other way around from the bottom up, then you have to consider the components, the equipment, the systems and the services, and you pile up all these and you usually reach something that could be 3-4 times higher than this one. But this is good for public administration because they put taxes on that. You know, every step they have taxes. So, but this is the top-down view. And this year, the cybersecurity market is going to be around global, around 200 billion euro all across the country, the globe, and which is about 4%, some people say 5% of the global IT market. And of course, this is to respond cybersecurity to cyber attacks, which are now getting close to 10,000 billions, 10 trillions. I don't know if you can imagine that, but and indeed the spending is also 2% of these estimated. The spending in cybersecurity is only 2% of the cost, estimated cost of these attacks. The market share, well, you know it. Usually, it's traditional, as in many professional application, electronic application. Big market share in the US are at about 40%, while Europe is around 30 billion, which is corresponding to 70% of the global market, and with a percentage with respect to GDP of less than 2%, while in the US is around 3%. So you see that we're still spending not as we probably respect to our economy. The main sectors, of course, the finances are more mature, and all the other sector, apart from government, that are still uncertain, are around 10%. With the big growth I expect in the health sector coming up, because there's more and more becoming evident to the countries that they have to invest in health. The application, there are security services, More than 40% is on security services, managed security services, and all the other aspects of services. Infrastructure protection, network security also are the other one. When you try to estimate the number of companies, this is a very difficult exercise. Actually, all this market analysis is a difficult exercise because, let me say, there are no true market data. There are no true market data because it depends how you make the perimeter, how you, the data you consider, the information you have. You can have really so many different data, and even within a market study, I can tell you, I can spot out inconsistencies. I'm more than 30 years that I've learned how to do it. I'm sorry to say to those who have developed, and I say I don't want to mention also certain European studies, but there are inconsistencies. And what we are trying to do in this job here is to collect data, open data, and try to put them together, not to find real values, because as I said, it's impossible to say real values, what are the reality of the story. But we try to make it consistent, to give you a feedback of what seems to be something which at least there is a consistency all across this data. And one of the challenges was exactly on the companies, because if you say there are too many companies in Europe, then it means that each company is making a small, on average, a very small fraction, a very small revenue, which sometimes is really inconsistent. There are too small, there are not many, then you grow up to something, other issues concerning the personnel working in the companies. So at the end, the equivalent value of the companies, it's about 7,000. Maybe say, hey, we have much more. Yes, but consider that in this 7,000, about 90% are SMEs. And only 10%, 700, are large companies. Large companies defined by the Commission are those who are having more than 250 employees. I can already tell you that it's not easy to identify 100 large companies with more than 250 employees in Europe working on cybersecurity, and not talking only of pure player, but also the others, which are mix of players. So it's really this company in Europe working in cybersecurity is very challenging data. Well, but the point is that in Europe also you find a lot of companies which are not originating from Europe. So you have, of course, many American companies, not only, which have about a strong part of the market share, 2/3 of the market share. Another interesting value is the private investment in startup and scale-ups, which is still 5 times below of what we have today still in the US. We had a peak of investment during the COVID period because a lot of people realized that they have to work from home and you needed to secure it. Then there was a decrease in the investments, and now they are progressively restarting up, but still something which needs to be reinforced. And we are working already now with the coming Polish presidency, which starts in 1 month actually, to see how we can really build up increase of, getting a creation of a fund of funds. This is an idea we had in EXO a number of years ago. So putting together public and private funds from venture capital, but also national banks and so on, to support the growth of the competence of the startups, of those SMEs, and not only, which would guarantee a certain kind of trusted supply chain support all across Europe. So this is something that is expected, hopefully, it's at least we are in discussion with a very high level in Polish presidency, and hopefully we'll see the light within the first half of 25. About the global cybersecurity workforce, we heard already this morning in the plenary, we need more people. We need more also women, because again, Women for Cyber had just been created because statistically we cannot miss 50% of the population. So we have to get also women on board. Then you can also mention political reason, whatever. But that's the point. We need in Europe today, still today, we need more than 300,000 jobs which are missing in cybersecurity. 300,000, it's a lot. And when I started with the idea of creating Women for Cyber, that was end of September 17, we were just envisaging maybe a bit more than 200,000. So we are not catching up with the need. We still need to invest and push for help men and women, by the way, to get into these jobs. And also one of the peculiar aspects of Europe is that we have a number of legislation. Ingrida said earlier that we have more than 11. Well, we counted around 12 main legislations which have to be now implemented. NIS2 is one, DORA, the CRA, which is coming up. But all these are to be implemented in the coming years. And that will be a challenge because the transposition of directives into different countries can be different across the different member states. And this creates problem not only for the large company who have subsidiary in the countries, but also for the SMEs, which have maybe will be subject, especially for the CRAs, for this approach for the supply chain, which will have to implement certain rules. So we really have to face a big challenge about the implementation of legislation. Then in the analysis, I don't want to spend much time on this, but we had a global view on the market drivers, the challenges and barriers. I'm sure you know all of them. I don't want to repeat this here. I would like to come to some conclusions on what the findings of, well, some personal conclusion, but it's something conclusion we try to discuss also with the Commission, with the Parliament in Brussels. First of all, the big question I'm having already discussing with the Commission since 2011. Can we have a European cybersecurity industrial strategy? Because we are doing a lot, many things for SMEs, for investment, for research, for this and that, but do we have a full picture? We don't. We have sometimes, there are certain sectors in Europe where you have an industrial strategy, where you build together the full picture and you try to bring together the bricks to build a house. Unfortunately, this is not the case yet, or it's not visible from the private sector for cybersecurity. The public sector is getting very well organized. We heard already also this morning how the Commission, ENISA, the NCC, the European Center are trying to get together to work together. In the private sector, we are still fragmented. Why we would like to see a better house, better built. We don't have many resources. We have limited resources still. Respect we've seen. Investment are still limited. We should use the investment the right way and not to build up, let's say, a scattered house. And the future will demand a lot of resources. This is a slide which I try to, just to give an idea of what will be main challenges of the future. This is a Ferrari. Oh, you can imagine I'm Italian origin. But the point is that there are, to represent here the main topics which are coming up. So the bodywork for a house, it's what I call the general AI, the generative AI. The engine will be the quantum computing. But there are big questions. Do we have driver which can really drive this hypercar? It's not so easy to drive an engine with quantum computing, with generative AI and so on. So do we have the skills? And what are the energy? Which is the energy we're going to use? Are we going to wait for thermonuclear fusion to have infinite energy? Or how do we handle this? And who is the owner? I mean, where is the sovereignty of the car? This is a big question we have to ask ourselves. This is just to give you, in a simple picture, the question for the future. And still, the point is that Europe is still, as I said before, very much fragmented yet. We are coming together. I really like, and it's not because Lauri is here, I will say that I really appreciate the objective of the NCCs, the National Coordination Center. Because for me, from the very beginning, it's the real target of the ECCC approach. The real market, the real activity, the real life is in the country. Then what Brussels or Bucharest will do is just try to bring things together. What we do in EXO is try to bring together. But I see what we do in EXO, and also we try to do with Women for Cyber again, is very much regional, local, national. This is the impact, where the impact will be. So try to bring together all this and reduce fragmentation. This is the challenge we will have for the future. And here we are at the end of the market study with some major recommendations. There are three major topics. We need cyber resilience. Well, we talked also about this morning cyber resilience. I don't know if everybody understands what cyber resilience means. I'm an engineer. I have my interpretation I learned at school. But resilience is also, it's about cybersecurity, but also cyber safety, because you have to anticipate what is happening. For me, CrowdStrike event was an issue of safety, because it was not an intentional attack, but it happened. It had to be fixed by CISO, by those who are responsible for the cybersecurity. So you have to consider all this mixed as cyber resilience. We need some level of strategic autonomy, which is about how Europe can increase its autonomy with respect to external partners. We talked about security of the supply chain. And the last point is competitiveness. Competitiveness is a key word, so we need innovation, research, we need investment. Competitiveness is a key word in the mandate that Ursula von der Leyen gave to the 26 commissioners. You find, if you read all the letters of mandate, you see that, that's what I've seen, about 14 of them, 14 out of 26, are somehow interested in dealing with cybersecurity. The question is, who is really in charge of cybersecurity? Because we have seen that we have the Finnish executive vice president, which is in charge of what we say DigiConnect, the civilian part. We have the Lithuanian one, which is cyber defense, which will come up very important and very well defined, by the way, as a mandate. But then we have other commissioners which will be in charge of it. And so at the end, it's good news. There are many commissioners interested. The bad news is that there are too many commissioners interested, in a way. So to close this, let's say that you can have also this, we can distribute this presentation. We are then breaking down in the different topics, the three main objectives, and some 5 pillars of enabling technologies, which is linked with advanced computing, which is segmented advanced computing, data security, and AI for cyber, hyperconnectivity, virtualization, and digital identity, authentication, transaction. And for each of them, you see, we have a lot of details where you can find out, again, the cyber industrial policy, the digital single market, the cyber defense, just reading here and there across the different recommendation, and also about the technologies. You have all the known quantum computing, cloud computing, 6G, data security, and so on. So this is just to give, it's not simple to synthesize in few words, because cybersecurity is huge. Cybersecurity is everywhere. And I was, just to finish, I was discussing, I was in a meeting last week in Brussels with Roberto Viola, who is the Director General of DigiConnect. He was mentioning in a global IT view for the future, for the new commission. The new commissioner will support very strongly the Draghi report for the investments, so for the future business, so on. The point is that the commissioner will support. Member states, he said, are not so supportive, which is an issue. So we will likely have to, again, what I said before, we have to be sure that we use some limited resource investment in the right direction, in the consistency way. And he mentioned as main topics, as we think about business, he mentioned high performance computing, cloud security as well, cloud computing, chips, the chip manufacturing, and AI, of course. But under this, transversally, there is always cybersecurity. And here I stop. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Anyway, thank you. Also, we give you a small reminder of how beautiful is our country, because you were referring to this other report. I suggest you to stick to this Northern European reality, and we have a good solution. You will be interested to see next presentation as well. So this is why I invite also Osmanis-Usmanis from Possible Security. And this is exactly the miracle story of being, let's say, innovative, small, beautiful, but very powerful in this meaning of where it comes from startup to become a cyber security leader in a way, at least for one particular type of solution. And this is in the context of Mr. Niiniste's report of how fragile is our security. So here is a weapon. We suggest this is a Latvian weapon now. You will see. Please.
Thank you, Ansis. Today I have a story for you about Possible Security, which is one of the leading niche specialized cybersecurity companies in Latvia, currently one of the market leaders. And does it work? Yeah, it works. So my name is Krišjānis Feldmans. I'm currently serving as a CTO of Possible Security. Here is a little background of mine. In my work experience, I have heavily been involved in various fields of physical security, risk management, also management consulting, and of course nowadays in cybersecurity. And little more about Possible Security as a group. We provide premium cybersecurity service to Latvian customers and Baltic customers, and premium means that it is of higher quality, which of course comes with a higher cost as well. And we are pretty proud that in last reporting year, in 2023, we experienced doubling of our turnover by the side of 2022. So we are growing as well. And what is interesting, even though some companies allowed their workers to do a remote job during COVID times and not come into office, we have been fully remote since company's inception in 2013. So we haven't pushed anybody to return to office after COVID time. So we are still fully remote. But how it all started? It started with these two guys. They are hackers known in Latvia, Jānis Jansons and Kirill Solovjovs. This is a picture from their personal archive. So what they did really was came together. They had a good idea what they want to do in IT, and that's how they started. It was two persons. There were two persons with a dream and a passion about IT. So big thanks go out to University of Latvia, which had at the time business incubator for them, where they could, which allowed them to sort of go into the direction of business, making business out of it. But first years were very slow. They didn't make any money. They didn't work for money. They actually were creating, 10 years ago, they were creating the market themselves by finding various vulnerabilities in also in public sector, in private sector, and they were reporting them. And after some time, when vendor had a chance to fix the vulnerabilities, they also disclosed them. And those companies reacted differently. Some tried to sue them, but some also asked them, perhaps you can fix those vulnerabilities yourself, but they didn't do it. We have these rules till now. If we would find some vulnerability in some web service or wherever, which is not our customer's web service, that particular entity would not be able to become our customer for next 2 years because of hacker ethics. So that is what they did. The bottom screenshot actually is from 2013. The captcha appeared in this Ministry of Interior's website completely useless because the answer to the captcha was stored in a cookie. So that was one example. That is one example of the vulnerabilities discovered at that time. And now we have come to the first chart of this presentation. This is where you can see that the start was really slow. It was not moving upwards, and it was. There were two concerns mainly. The first one was, can you trust anybody? The founders of the Possible Security, they were like, well, It's really tricky. If we would be a software development company, then if some malicious employee would leak the code, okay, that would be loss of money, loss of reputation, but the business would probably go on. But in the field of security, in physical security as well, by the way, but also cybersecurity, if some malicious employee would leak a vulnerability and somebody else would use that vulnerability to steal millions of euro from some bank, that would mean the business is done. The reputation would be ruined forever. So that is one concern. And the other one was that tax regime in Latvia at that time didn't boost or motivate anyone to go above 40,000 euro per annum in turnover. That was one. It was because of tax regime at the time for small enterprises. Why do we measure the turnover in millions of euro? That's because Latvian press has a habit of measuring all the companies' turnovers in Latvia in millions of euro, even if they are just 0 point something. So it is now our inside joke. We also measure our turnover in millions of euro, even if it is 0 point something. So back to the chart. What else you can see here? There are 2 companies appearing in 2019. That is because Kirill decided, well, I want to do research as well. I want to do public speaking as well. But it doesn't go together well with me doing pen testing. What I'm going to talk about in those conferences about the vulnerabilities I found in customers' websites, probably not. That's why in his mind he wanted to do a spin-off, the one company which focuses on research. But then something happened and the COVID came. All the flights were cancelled all over. All the conferences were cancelled all over. So there was nowhere to go. And many people actually at that time, many people were sitting on their hands, smart people, looking through the windows, thinking how they can help to add value to their business at that time, in COVID times. How can they help the country? And smart people decided that it will probably all revolve around video conferencing at the time. And that led not only to creating the spin-off company, which in turn failed, but also creation of video democracy software and eSIM, which is a software which helped to run Latvian parliament during the COVID times. It was one of the solutions, one of the first solutions like that in the world, actually. So this led, of course, to other things like hiring more employees, which was now necessary because you had to develop the software real fast. Also, the first award in the IT industry in Latvia, Platinum Mouse, was awarded for this product, to possible security, and the spin-off from eSIM, e-Rigas Dome, which is sort of the same system for Riga City Council, which is still used today for all the Riga City Council proceedings and passing all the rules. So, and this growth, which started in COVID times, it resulted in more than 100 satisfied customers. So this is a screenshot of eSIM. It took 10 days to develop that. Simon bought it for around 50,000 euros. So the money was lost on it on the first year, including 1 year long support and continuous development. But it gave a big boost in business. Not about money. It was not about money. It was about public exposure, public relations exposure. So that was good. And of course, Kirill gained some experience in managing 20-person team, which they had to work day and night to make this product ready. It was really intense time at the start of COVID for Parliament. And this is the full chart, which you saw before already. Okay, yeah, thank you. What you can see here is that in 2024, at last, by European Union standards, we are not micro-enterprise anymore. We are small enterprise. So, good feeling for that. And, but there are, of course, some business challenges, as usual. So, first, the market for cybersecurity in Latvia, it had to be created, remember? And it was a big job to do, but also because we cared so much about privacy, we do not do any targeted ads. We do not use public cloud. That is why my notes are actually on the iPad today, not on not on the big screen, because we cannot use like Microsoft Office, which has the new policy nowadays about collecting all the data you enter there. But also, it is hard to find employees which could serve our customers as we need with enough fundamental knowledge in the field, because we want to provide a premium service. And this is a joke. This is a fun slide about that we always have some work to do at home, so we need to upgrade the website, which is 10 years old. If somebody has checked, probably do it next year. And of course, we have also, because of the ongoing cyber war, we had to strengthen our infrastructure, our own infrastructure, because we had to sort of defend against cyber attacks in this war. So this is continuous work. What else? IT market in Latvia, it's very interesting. Like all the contracts are being awarded, like many of them are being awarded based on hourly rate. And you can never explain to the customer why that we could do it 4 times faster, but of course it comes at a cost. And we do not want to lie to customers saying, okay, this pen test will take very long time, but hourly rate will be very, very cheap. Which would the hourly rate, they would like it, and they would sign the contract. We cannot lie to our customers. We do a premium service, we do it fast, we do it in high quality, and it costs what it costs. And actually, the cybersecurity in Latvian organizations are still a bit sort of underestimated, as it usually the top managers have to think about if they want to invest in cybersecurity or not. And still, it is difficult to find the employees with this knowledge, specific knowledge, and also which can pass the security clearance. So that's one more aspect in this business which we have. This is some general slide about what should each company and organization, like wherever, should, in our experience, pay attention to. You will need to know what you actually have, what infrastructure you have, software, hardware, etc. Also the backups. At some point, believe me, backups will become pretty useful to recover from some cyber attack. Also, training is often underestimated, but very effective tool to increase the overall organization's posture, cybersecurity posture. And of course, preventative measures, preventative investment is always more efficient than just dealing with the consequences of some incident. And and you can do that by using professional services such as we offer red teaming. We consider that as a very good way to sort of find out if your IT infrastructure is really resilient to cyber attack in attacks. It also involves various vectors, not only IT, but also social engineering, some physical access, physical penetration, etc. Of course, our trainings which we offer are also very useful, as we have certified trainers on staff which can provide end-user trainings for very simple, like with a simple content, or training for specialists, IT administrators, and even defensive programming trainings, which sometimes some software development companies use. And our bread and butter, which is pen testing of all types of stuff, like even mob apps, various web services, and so on. That is something what we also do on consulting as well. You know, the DORA, etc., which is coming now. Lots of regulations for some businesses coming, like compliance regulations from outside. You need to have those policies ready, and somebody has to write them. Those could be us. And I want to finish my presentation with this sentence. It's very, very good. It is very nice, and it's a great gift in life to have your hobby to be turned into the running a successful business. So you have to believe in yourself, and that is how what I wish to you all. Thank you for your time. Stay safe. Welcome to our booth just outside. We have some pretty good demos set up for you. My colleagues will show you around, and thank you for attention.
Actually, this gives me a reminder that everyone can go and visit during today this expo site. Also go and ask questions directly, or maybe here openly to Christianis. We have time for a quick question. If not, then please visit the place. Yeah. Talk, chat, and find the new business ideas. Good. Christiane, all the best. Cheers. Really, I mean, happy for you. Actually, I'm happy in a way that you are a nice example that we are always getting better and better by being proud on ourselves. Otherwise, we always quote Estonians. Nevertheless, without Estonians, we would never, gain an independence like more than 100 years ago and things like this. This is why we made a choice for next moderator of the next session will be Estonian guy. So happy to meet Lauri Tanker. He's a head of R&D coordinator for Information Security Authority. Well, welcome and please set up yourself, but should I also invite your good colleague Henrik?
No, not yet. Not yet.
Let
me try this, yes.
Good. Then
right.
I just pass to you the clicker.
Thank you.
And please take 1 hour long super show.
Yeah, I'm not going to take a whole hour because people are hungry and we do need to eat. It's not only that people would survive on listening to cybersecurity. So, my name is Lauri, and thank you so much for having me here, and thank you for everyone who decided to come to listen to this business track. I think Luigi really set the stage in a way to underline what the business side of this whole cybersecurity is. And the whole expo is actually designed and made up in this way that it could show what innovation is when there's a need from the general public, there is an offering from cybersecurity private sector, and me, I represent the public sector. So I'm from the Estonian Cybersecurity Agency, the National Cybersecurity Center, and I do coordinate research and development there. But we also coordinate this in a way to make sure that that small, medium cybersecurity companies, startups, and emerging companies would get to actually, find some ways to go to the market, to actually help them actually go further than they would maybe on their own. We're going to have this discussion in a way that there's going to be 3 companies who are going to tell you about their products and their journey, basically, how they became what they are today. They will give you about up to a 10-minute overview of what they do. After this, I'm going to invite them all up to sit around these tables here, and we're going to have a little bit of a discussion into what are the market barriers for these small companies and startups, and what can the public sector do, what can Estonian and Latvian government agencies can actually do to help you, and what is the role of the public sector at all, because obviously we don't want to intervene in the market that much. We want the market to function, but we also want to make sure that there's no actual market failures or market barriers. So this is the setup of what we're going to do. About 25 to 30 minutes of a little bit of a discussion about these companies, and then a little bit of a discussion as well. So we're going to kick off with a company from from Latvia again. Obviously, because we're in Latvia. And so I'm going to invite up Sandis, Osmanis-Usmanis, to come and talk to you about what's going to, what they do. What is Handwave? Come on up. You know, there's a microphone. Oh,
this is the most important microphone, number 3. Just telling to my good colleague.
I'm going to keep this microphone in my hand then. Go right ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Hello, my name is Sandis. I'm from Handwave, the CTO co-founder, and I will be presenting you the innovation that we are creating. So about the Handwave, looking at the payments in the history, we see the people are trying to innovate all the time, how they, let's say, pay or interact with the technology, meaning looking at very, very far history, the first exchange were with, let's say, I give you chicken, you give me spices, and so on. They involve involved with exchanging the gold and silver as some value for the services. Then that was metal coins. Then it was a paper. Then it involved in the cards. Now it's with different kind of technologies like mobile applications, QR codes, phones, watches, etc., etc. But it's not the end, right? Because humans are trying to make it more convenient for themselves. So what is the next step? The next step is biometrics. There are a lot, not that lot, but few biometrics that are being used already in our daily lives, like fingerprints on the mobile phones, as well as face recognition. But those types those types of biometrics to be used in broad public sectors comes with some limitations. Let's say fingerprints, although are fairly precise, you need to put the finger on the surface. And in COVID times, no one wanted to touch anything, right? Same goes for the face. It's very convenient on the phones when you use it at home, but imagine when, let's say, everywhere, and we already see it in some other countries where the big brother is watching always at you and your face, because it's publicly accessible and you really can't hide it unless you wear a mask or something. And then there is, of course, an eye recognition that is, let's say, pretty hard to use in terms of you need to align very specifically at the readers, and it's quite expensive technology. So there is another biometrics possible, which is hand. Yeah, so the idea is of contactless palm scanning. It is that when onboarded on different kind of merchants, the customer could use it very broadly while registering just once and use it everywhere. So be it in the retail stores or to enter the buildings or high security areas or events or public transportation, basically when onboarded, usage is super broad. From usability perspective, there is no need for any additional items, meaning you can go out to the run, for a run, go to the, I don't know, after that go for some coffee, just show your hand and you can pay for that, or enter the building by just showing your hand. You don't need to carry anything with you because you are let's say, you have on yourself all the data you need to provide your identity. From speed perspective, it's also super fast. Let's say the matching of your unique code is less than a second, and the speed of capturing your hand also is very fast. Also, the way people present the hand is quite similar to the way now we are paying, like with the card, just tapping at the terminal or the phone or something like that. And that way is super convenient. There is no need to position yourself somehow very specifically to provide your biometric identity. And also, as I mentioned, it's not this as the same as for the face. You choose to show your hand when you want to interact with something, because it's not always available, visible, and capturable, let's say. About technology itself, it's quite simple, let's say. From technology perspective, the two cameras are being used, which is near infrared and RGB, which are the RGB cameras are on all the phones. Then from the hand is being captured many data points, which are very unique for specific individuals, that gives opportunity to very specifically identify each of them. So yes, and let's say the age, during the aging, this data doesn't change that much, meaning, all over the life of the human, the data doesn't change. Yeah, so it is very fast, very accurate due to multiple data points that are being captured, and the usability is very broad. Also, as I mentioned before, there are many use cases where it can be used. It is like to enter the data centers with local databases of individuals, buildings, factories, high security areas, public transportation, and so on, so on. Thank you.
I have two questions. The first is from the online. We have to respect these guys online today. How about application on behavioral biometrics for user authentication on various devices? So when it comes for many devices in a row, could it be, you know?
We don't collect basically that type of data. What we do is matching the biometric data for each individual, and that is, we don't collect like very specific data of usage and so on. Just
and of course, one more question is very important. How often you have to wash your hands during the day? So to be, you know, precise.
No, the dirt doesn't impact it. Also, we are looking at like some very thin latex gloves doesn't impact it and so on. Yeah, because the capturing is being done with near-infrared cameras of the palm veins. So also the small cuts and other things don't impact the accuracy.
All right, thank you so much right now.
Thank you.
Take a seat and we'll call you back up when we're going to have this discussion thing. Let's continue. So this was an example of some innovation that's going on. Obviously, we're going to talk about how this comes to the market or what are the barriers to the market. But this is what we're talking about, new and emerging things that are up there. So Margus, SoftComply. Come on up here. So this is an Estonian company. Is going to talk to you about what they do and how they've gone through, you know, their processes and everything. And so let's give some a little bit of a time to take a listen of what their journey is.
So how this thing works? Ah, okay. And yeah, thank you for inviting me here. I'm actually pretty happy to be here because I haven't been in all the sessions everywhere, but these few that I've visited, I've heard the right word or right phrase, risk management. And yeah, typically people on the street, if we're saying, I don't know, cybersecurity or information security, then they think like, okay, yeah, attacks, malware, bugs, things like that. So it's something really deep tech thing, but actually it's not. It's everything else besides that. That's just a result. And yeah, so now maybe let's jump into what we're doing. And we provide risk management and document management software on top of Atlassian platform for regulated domains. Sounds pretty complicated, but maybe starting from back, what is Atlassian platform? Then everybody probably has heard Jira or Confluence. If not, then you just find out and you'll find a new place where you can add all your tasks and manage and can collaborate. And yes, we are focusing with our software to regulated domains. And why is that? Because everything in this world is regulated. The way I talk kind of is regulated. Not somewhere written down, but more or less non-written rules are still there. The way you drive on a street, written in a law. The way you, I don't know, develop an airplane, car, basically it's in a law how you should do that. And the same thing is actually with cybersecurity. So how do you now we end up in a situation where we need to figure out where to place the risk management and document management in the cybersecurity context. So yeah, as I stated, cybersecurity, not just bugs and malware and attacks and ransomware and stuff like that. It's actually much broader. And the things that what I mentioned is just end result when you start working with it from the root actually. And it evolves all the people, policies, everything around that. And yeah, cybersecurity also involves lots of documents, lots of risks, and then eventually when you're working in regulated domains, you need to provide some paperwork, some auditors or notified bodies are coming in, starting to look into whatever you're doing, and this is where our software comes into play. Yes, we don't do any sexy stuff. We don't have any nice gadgets or anything like that, but we do the stuff that you need to actually do before you can give out your sexy thing from the end of your product line, basically. So yeah, in cybersecurity also, there's different standards that require you to list down all your security risks and so on, and then our software comes handy. And maybe just a few words also what the risk management is. So yeah, risk management in cybersecurity, we can bring a simple example, is that, for example, how you give out or create new accounts in your organization when somebody new comes in. You can write the new employee's password on a paper and give it to him or her. Yes, you can, but maybe it's not so safe. And when you start thinking and looking your organization from this angle, that what can possibly go wrong, then in this place there's definitely a lot of things that can go wrong. The paper just might go away, or it's visible to everybody, and so on. So this is just one simple risk. You need to assess it. If there's a red flag, you need to do something in order to control it or mitigate it, and when that's done, then you're already good, and your cyber hygiene is all under control. So, and when you're in regulated domain, or in public sector is actually kind of like a pioneer of regulated domains for obvious reasons. So then you need to also later show that yes, I have done that, and this is how our process, how risks are managed, and this all we can put into our software, and the trends have actually shown us that in past few years the cybersecurity regulations have been kind of grabbing the land, and our apps, we have integrated different standard or regulation-based needs into that. I won't jump into the app itself, it's just too much time, but just some keywords that if you're struggling with these, then you can come and jump into our booth, like the ISO 27001, common vulnerability scoring systems, NIST frameworks, FDA guidances, and so on and so on. So every kind of regulation that also involves some sort of risk management or document management, you can just come by and then we can discuss that. And yeah, how we got here, slowly, but of course with government help it has been actually much quicker, because regulated domains have also heavy regulations, how you find your partners and how you create tenders and all these processes. So if you know that if you start with this segment, the sales lead cycles are pretty long, so it takes time. So you need to be prepared that it will take some time before it actually turns into real kind of like business. Even if with some private company you can just have a deal with 5 minutes, then with some specific sectors it's just years and years even. And right now we have customers all over the world building rockets, managing banks, and building different nice gadgets. But yeah, we are just helping them to get through the regulations. So yeah, SoftComply, we just make compliance easy.
All right, thank you. Another applause, please. Thank you. Take a seat, and I'll invite you back up right after our final presentation. So, Henrik, come on up here. This is our final. This is also an Estonian company who has gone through the Estonian. There's a microphone right there. Who's gone through some accelerator programs and everything like that. Let's hear them out as well, and then we can have a discussion about how easy or difficult it is to actually, get this on the road.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me. My name is Henrik. I'm from Phishbite. I'm the CEO and founder, and we do basically human risk management. We help companies to train and educate employees with AI-generated phishing simulations. And it was about 2 years ago when I too failed the phishing test. And it was about winning a backpack after a conference, so be vigilant. But double the shame and misfortune, I didn't get the backpack. And yeah, but coincidentally, it was around the same time, 30th of November, when ChatGPT was launched. And well, I had a bit of background. I had my master thesis about AI-generated content and copyright, so I had a bit of background how negative sides can affect our life by AI-generated content. And from there on, an idea came what would happen when North Korean hackers can get these tools to improve their services and attack the people that we know. And even more in our markets where there was a language barrier protecting us before, then now things have changed. Basically, whole hacking groups use large language models to create content for phishing attacks. And yeah, so in June 2023, I saw a Facebook ad that was advertising this wonderful accelerator, like 48,000 euros only for ideas. And yeah, I basically applied and went to the best cybersecurity expert that I knew. And he told me that actually they had similar idea and he wanted to continue together. And after a while, a product management expert came aboard. But yeah, in August we were accepted and got the money and a lot of support. We had wonderful workshops by a lot of cool and inspiring people, a lot of help from different kinds of mentors, and it was really supportive. Also an office space with talks. But how did we spend money and what did we do with that? Basically, developers, about 1,100 development hours. Yeah, a little bit to design and a bit to cloud services because they also offer some sponsorships and good to use also. Yeah. And within about 6 months, we have launched an MVP. We had first customers testing our product and first paid customers also. It took a bit of more time for the Cyber Accelerator to end, and we got like 17 customers from the end and about 1,000 people tested. And now we see like real examples how we can improve that last layer of defense and mitigate the risk of falling under a cyber attack. Yeah, we have had over like 50 customers in Estonia, made over 10,000 tests, and helped companies improve their cybersecurity awareness. And you can find out more about Phishbite also in this room soon. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Give it a round of applause, please. All right. Take a seat over here. I'm going to invite up our two other presenters. We'll put a seat. Yeah. So could you sit on this side? And one more person I want to invite up, Matis Veigurs, come on this side. Then we can then, yeah, absolutely. So I'll give you a microphone. This one I'll share, and then you have a microphone. You can share the microphone with each other as well. So the last example that was there, the Phishbite example, was one of the. Oh, there's another microphone there as well. Good. So I'm gonna just walk around there, right. So the last example here was something that a government agency did. Like gave out like a grant, and there are some of these kinds of initiatives. And Matis here will, I'm going to ask you to give a little bit of an overview of what other kinds of grants are in Latvia have been actually going on. And I understand that Handwave has also benefited from those. Just give a little bit of an overview of what this is, and then we can discuss this.
Yeah, I hope you can hear me well. I'm Matis Veigurs, and I represent the Ministry of Defense of Latvia here, who is also hosting our NCC, which is National Cybersecurity Coordination Center. And one of the tasks for NCCs, of course, is to boost R&D, help cyber communities to access money, network, and all kinds of help they really need to be successful. And I would like to start by pointing out a few things we already heard in the morning session and also here, that there's a lot of regulation. That would be the first thing. Another thing is that cybersecurity is a very wide cross-sectoral field, so we don't need to think very narrowly only about cybersecurity companies here. And that's why we designed a grant program for small and medium companies, which are the most vulnerable when it comes to cyber attacks, because they don't have enough resources to invest. Like large companies mostly are fine, but we need to support the smaller ones. And since European Union wants to reach strategic autonomy, doesn't want to depend on third countries for cyber solutions, then grant programs are really great for boosting new solutions, supporting small companies, just like we saw here, and also Handwave, which we also directly supported, to create these solutions here on the spot here in European Union, to help them grow, to help them access the market. And another thing in our grant program, of course, was that we supported also small and medium companies from other fields who need to invest in cybersecurity, be it compliance or just the need or wish to do so, so that they can get this help in the form of investment, co-funding to do that. Because that way we also raise awareness that cybersecurity is important, cybersecurity is for everybody and not only for tech companies.
All right, thank you so much. So this basically comes, gets us to the gist of the big question. So obviously these three companies are examples of companies that are in dire need of clients, right? Eventually it has to be like a client that gives you money for something. But like you said, that in some heavily regulated areas, clients are hard to come by. But the big question is, what kind of leeway or what kind of runway do these financing options give you? Maybe Sandis, you can actually tell us about this grant and how this actually can get you towards getting clients and new clients.
The grants that the government and the European Fund are creating are actually very crucial for very nice thing for the startups to use to accelerate their businesses. Yeah, there are very specific things to keep in mind when trying to use them, very specific paperwork and so on, but once you get to know how to apply to them, it is very nice thing. And also when in the multiple events, when talking with different startups, they actually don't know about such a program, so I would say that the information would need to spread more and more around the startups to actually enable them to get to know about such a programs and to use them. Our experience is very nice. Once you get to know the procedures and so on, the support and help is crucial, I would say, for the business to launch.
All right. Obviously, some of the businesses are sort of kind of boring as well. I mean, you know, this may not be the things that catch an eye of an investor right away. How has SoftComply actually dealt with what has been the benefit for you in looking for clients or maybe investors for this kind of let's say boring company?
Well,
yeah, it is. Right? Yeah.
Well, I would maybe...
No? Okay. Yeah.
No. Well, I would maybe split these grants first into two separate domains. One thing is when you're improving the whole cybersecurity ecosystem and the world by making this all the difficulties to become less and less obstacle when you're coming to a market at all. Like the things what we did in this cybersecurity accelerator. So they're supporting product development in this domain. Another thing is actually for an average Joe with some other organization who actually need to be compliant with some specific standard. And when they say, I don't know, for any random company that, okay, now you need to be compliant for ISO 27001, it's not their core business. It's something that I wouldn't do it if that's not my business and I don't need it. So this is kind of like the second big group of these grants. And I knew that Estonian government also provided support to implement this sort of services. And yeah, we of course are in a place where yes, we have lots of technology, but we have lots of holes, and not everything is yet bulletproof. So we need both kind of support on both sides to organizations to actually start implementing because it's not their business, but they just it helps because larger customers are actually asking you this kind of show me how you make your service or product secure. So both ways helps are definitely welcome, and we have used actually both options already.
Yeah, I understand. I mean, as a government representative here, obviously we are creating demand in the market through regulations, and not just we, but the European Union, putting out new regulations which sort of mandates or forces some companies to use cybersecurity solutions, such as compliance, or such as phishing tests, which should be creating awareness as well. But let me just ask you, Henrik, just the same sort of a question. Obviously you came into this thing with an idea, and not a struggle to get new clients. Now there are clients coming in from the doors and the windows everywhere, or do you need more assistance?
Yeah, I think that the state can't, you, Laurie, can't help us directly in getting customers. We have to do it ourselves. And if there weren't customers, there were no business, no demand. So yeah, but there is a struggle to give this awareness, and we are not searching for customers that we need to educate. And this is not our business. This should be like the states and general need, yeah, because we don't have so much resources to put our effort in educating all of the customers. Yeah, we search for those that already know that they have awareness of the issue, and they're searching for a solution.
Right, thank you. So obviously I also started with the notion that it's very difficult, or it's even controversial for governments to intervene in this sort of a, like business sector. Why should we? Business should create business. But Matis, maybe that's a question for you as well. Like, what do you think should be, the government business in the cybersecurity business? Is what's your idea of like how this could create new business?
Here I can provide a really good example where new businesses can find clients for themselves with the government's help. As already mentioned, NCCs, they are tasked with nurturing these cyber communities, and in Latvia our community is very vibrant, it's growing very rapidly. And each country organizes it a bit differently, but how it's organized here is that we invite all organizations to our events and be members of the community from different fields. Whatever company you are, if you have cyber department or people concerned about cybersecurity in your organization, you can come and participate. There are also, of course, companies which have cybersecurity as business, and that's where they can meet. We can give them a room, but maybe we don't bring them clients directly. There are some examples. For example, in our community, we have several large hospitals, also state institutions, etc. These could be potential clients for cyber businesses, and once they get together in one room, they can make these contacts. Of course, we can't promote any particular company or so, but we can always introduce, hey, we have really great companies which received grants in our program, and we can showcase them just like we are showcasing one of the companies here today as well, because we think it's such a great example that they are using our help.
I mean, it sounds like a big happy family, and
most of the time.
Most of the time, but we all know that business is not a big happy family. There's competition. There are competitors, and you three are intervening in their territories. Let's be honest here. So let me maybe ask you, I don't know, Sandis, what do you think, like how welcoming is the cybersecurity market sector in general? How fierce is this competition? How welcoming is the community?
With our product, we are a bit like niche product. In the market, there are not that many currently, at least, companies that are providing something like that. But biometrics is the future, and that is confirmed by many industries, as well as in payments. So the biometrics will involve in very different areas, but yeah, as I said, there are not that many currently the competitors, and so we don't see very big friction in the market currently, at least in what we are doing.
Henrik, what about you? I mean, like, there's gotta be competitors who are also sending out phishing tests for everybody else.
Yeah, and competition is really healthy. It improves innovation, and yeah, but we have found a space where we have advantages over the big competition, because in the States it has been quite a long time since there has been an obligation to use similar services. And we don't go to that space. We have our own advantages in smaller markets, and we target those and keep our competitive advantage there.
Okay. What about you?
Well,
What's your competition like?
on Atlassian marketplace, we do have some competitors, but we have focused ourselves into regulated industries. And the regulations add all small bits and pieces here and there, which is really crucial, because there isn't anything like almost compliant. You're either compliant or not. And this actually is a competitive advantage for us, because if you are focusing on something and doing it correctly, then you can easily just say that, okay, these are not actual competitors. And on our platform at the moment, yes, we are the only one on sort of like doing things compliantly. So we're in a good position. But on the other hand, everywhere else there is competition. And what are we selling is actually trust. So as a small company or a startup, it's actually good to be on a platform, because the platform owner sets also some requirements, and Atlassian as big corporation is setting these trust requirements for us. So we are kind of like improving ourselves, even if we are comparing us with competitors outside there, because we have just somebody who tells that, okay, now you need to do it, otherwise we will ban you. So we have, and we don't as well.
So what's the level of ambition here? Just to get an understanding, like what's the level of ambition for you? Where do you want to end up? Like, do you want? We were talking here earlier, and Luigi was talking about strategic autonomy in Europe, and earlier in the general panel, I was mentioning the same idea. The question about like what's the end goal here, especially for startups, often is that, hey, we want to be acquired by some big company, and somebody, we want to do an exit. Like somebody who buys us out, we get like 170,000 euros out of it, and everything's cool. Keep our position as chief product officer or something like that. Usually the ones who buy you out are Americans, or the some companies outside of Europe. But so this is what I'm trying to get out of you private companies right now, to get an understanding of what's the ambition for you, and maybe also like, is there something that we as a government or the European Cybersecurity Center representatives can do about this? What do you think?
Well, our main goal is to make compliance easy. So eventually we want to be on this spot where you don't need to think on regulations at all. So you're doing what is your core business, and everything else is handled actually somewhere in a back end.
But so, your core business is doing this. So,
yes.
Yeah.
So we have also like a larger roadmap with different products, how we integrate them, and so that, because risk management and document management, these are just fragments from the bigger picture. But in order to just do everything in one place, that's the kind of like main goal. So then nobody even cares about maybe cybersecurity if everything is actually handled a site that you're doing every day or something else. I don't know what, but that's the main goal, yeah.
Okay, so we
but of course
need to
these
right. Okay.
exits and things, these are also nice options.
Obviously. So listen up, everybody, investors. Here's a company here. Take out your deep pocket books, and here's an investment opportunity.
Actually, SoftComply started a lot of years ago from the idea that, yeah, let's make this big button where you press it and it tells you whether you're compliant or not. But back then it wasn't possible.
Right
now
it is a button.
with AI and LM, I would say it's doable.
All right, I'm looking forward to that button. But let's go for Henrik. What's the end goal for you, or the level of ambition, and maybe what could be or should be the role for us here?
Yeah, we don't have also an end goal in the market-wise. We have an end goal where we see our product in the future. We want to cover all kind of different vectors through phishing, whatever can be possible, and we imagine that, but not where we want to do an exit. That's not currently in our goals or ambitions plan.
Okay, Sandis.
We are dreaming big. So as I give a glimpse of our product, but the usage is so broad that to implement our, let's say, product and technology is almost limitless. Basically everywhere where the user needs to interact with something, the client or the human, let's say. And currently we are focusing on very specific and small areas to enter the market and start to spread around the world, but yeah, the usage is limitless. Also we went with government support of the LEA funds to Japan. We talked with Japan Railways, with the multiple car manufacturers, and basically everyone is very interested and keen to implement such a technology because it's very convenient for people to use. And regarding our goals of buyouts, no, we don't want to sell our idea to anyone. Basically, we just want to expand all over the world and create super company.
All right.
With the roots in Latvia.
All right. Matis, I want to end up this part with you. Can you imagine, obviously you are representing Latvia here. There's some ambition to go all over the world and be the technology that stems from Latvia. What do you imagine should be or could be the government support or incentives in this kind of business ambition?
Yeah, definitely what we can tell that we are intending to continue with grant program as it is now and maybe grow even bigger. That of course is the question about funds, political will, and also workforce, because we are also short in that regard. We need some people who understand what R&D means, what business means, because as far as we interact with startups, very often they are a bit hesitant to reach out to us because they think that probably we can't help them because they want to grow fast. But I would just say, don't hesitate, come to us. If we can't help, we can try to point you at the right direction, find you partners abroad which can help you grow even faster if you put some efforts in joint projects. That one we can definitely do in our NCC network, in our personal networks between various countries. So if you are thinking about entering bigger projects or showcasing your solution for some bigger, for example, European-wide technologies such as digital wallet projects, etc., where they also invite smaller partners. Yeah, don't be afraid. Just talk to us. We will try to do the best we can, and we're always open for communication.
So the message here is don't be afraid. And I think I will end with this. Give a round of applause to our panelists and presenters, please. You're going to get some small token of appreciation. Go and have lunch.
And you as well.
Yes, and thank you all, and come back to the business track right after lunch as well. Thank you.
And thank you actually for suggesting, sorry for 3 minutes late, but we will start sharp in 1 hour in this room. So the business will continue and we will focus exactly on these next and other type of challenges for small and medium enterprises in this cybersecurity field. So welcome back to this room, or of course you still have your choice to go to Academia room, which is room number key, I think it's a key, and the expo area all around, so please don't hesitate to visit this. Actually, there is a quite queue now in the lunchroom. You can even spend 5-10 more minutes here in expo area and then go to the lunch place, which is actually at the end of the corridor if you face Daugava River. Back on CyberBazaar. Actually, there is a lot of very important announcements. The first thing is, since we are in business room, please do not hesitate to send a good link to your competitor. This is the way how you will grow, right? Competitor should be online, for example, if he's not in this hall. So there is Latvijas armija, the hashtag, where you can see the, it's a particular channel actually of the security staff of Latvia, where we can share, of course, this time in English, in original language. You can also get quotes out of this channel later if you want to send to your good neighbor or friend or actually colleagues that are back in the office. Now in this session we will now focus on a small and medium enterprises which should be also covered by security, right? So they should be not vulnerable more than the big companies. Nevertheless, there is a good opportunity to learn how to deal with this. Let's start with, oh yes, actually, I'm sorry, I didn't do it for the first time. I think all these organizations require to be named, and we should be grateful that we got this assembly, which is actually beginning of a new tradition. There will be a traveling circle around the Baltic countries. So the CyberBazaar, probably in Vilnius or in Tallinn next year, and then again and again, it will be a kind of new tradition for us to be, well, we are at the front line, right? Anyway, so national cybersecurity centers of all 3 Baltic countries. Also the European Union is there, ENISA as the big agency for cybersecurity in the European level, and of course all the national ministries of defense, which are also directly cybersecurity centers and co-founders of these new initiatives in European scale. Well, let's say to the European scale, how to choose the right MDR service provider, if you are big or small, or you are, stylish and different and something. So Pavel Laptev, the head of Security Operations Center from Estonia, will have an answer. So Pavel, the floor is yours, but also, people search for good suggestions. So you have high authority now to give this right suggestion how to act in these days.
Absolutely. Hello, everybody. We are back after the lunch, and it is definitely hard to speak. But it's even more difficult to listen after lunch, so I'm sorry for you. I likely will go a bit over time, a couple of minutes, but I just recently and probably steal a couple of minutes from the next speaker and a panelist. But I have figured out that you cannot go in jail for stealing the time in Latvia, so it's safe. Otherwise all the speakers here would be already behind the bars. Anyway, let's get started. So I'm Pavel Laptev from Neverhack Estonia. We are managed security service provider, which actually very active across the globe. We are a global company now. And we provide different managed security services, including managed detection and response, SOC services, and CSIRT services as a part of that. And today, I want to speak to you about some research that we did together with our clients, together with our other companies that are located across the world, our other SOC providers in Europe, basically figuring out what is the correlation between the company IT management style and the best option for choosing managed security provider from the market. So this research actually started in the beginning of this year, and from the Forrester framework that was firstly published in January and February this year. And this framework called High Performance IT. If you haven't heard about it, please check online. It's very interesting, especially if you are business owner, business executive, or IT manager of the company. So this high-performance IT concept, it outlines a couple of very important things. So first of all, your IT management strategy should be very well aligned with the business objectives, and more specifically, it has to adjust and adopt to the constantly changing landscape, and also to your constantly changing business life cycle. So according to this concept, there are actually 4 distinct IT styles that a company can leverage for their internal IT management. There's a co-creating style, amplifying style, enabling, and transforming style. Let me expand a bit on this. So if we speak about the organizational life cycle and complexity of the IT infrastructure, so it's very well kind of reflects monetization curve, reflects complexity, and the idea behind that. If you practice in a wrong style, that is not aligned with your organizational stage of the organizational life cycle, you can get in trouble getting most of your IT infrastructure and getting most value for the business. And basically, all the different IT styles having a specific set of the characteristics. So let's say starting from the co-creating style. So it's usually very common for the startups where everything is done together. There is lack of, probably like very specific ownership across the things. They do a lot of experimentation. There is shared ownership, and they are, of course, they are very, very delivery oriented. So they are focusing on the, first deliveries from this emerging business. But if they keep in practicing this style, they may get in trouble when they will start to amplify the business. So they're figuring out what is the best selling product they have, and they need to scale it up. So you need to switch to another thing. So you need to switch to the style that is more reflecting your scalability goals. Those businesses usually becoming more data-driven, their optimization and automation. And at some point, businesses are stabilizing. So stable operations, growing companies, basically they need to adjust a bit more conservative style in their IT management with more risk mitigation and more compliance-related efforts. At some point, stable business needs to transform to be more efficient, to get rid of the IT legacy they have and IT debt, and they require some business reinvention. Those companies, try to implement more innovations, visionary leadership in their IT management, and they embrace changing. So, in all this picture, we thought, what is how the managed detection and response service provider could reflect those IT styles. So the most valuable components of this service that would suit to different kind of styles of the IT management. So let's say we figured out that for co-creating styles, those emerging startups, this, of course, the most important part is the cost efficiency. And not only that, So they are expecting also from the MDR provider to be their security advisor, to have an excellent process for the onboarding and excellence in utilization of operational threat intelligence. They require flexibility and require close cooperation to the service provider. For the amplifying style, when the organization has growing, and of course the scalability is a matter. So MDR providers should be very supportive for the scalability of the organization in terms of infrastructure scalability. Usually those businesses are very focused on the kind of data consolidation, business data consolidation with the security data consolidation, because they are actually so-called data-driven businesses. They require high level of the automation, excellent customer service, because they are themselves providing the excellent customer service to their customers, excellence in detection engineering, and of course utilization of a tailored threat intelligence for their needs. And of course, as the data is a new oil, they require a lot of data security insurance from the MDR provider as well. For the enabling style organizations, so strong governance is important. Disciplined execution, compliance, standardization, and merging SecOps. By merging SecOps, I mean that there should be a good cooperation between internal IT and the managed security service provider for those companies. That is required. And transforming organizations, again, they are going back to the cost efficiency, flexibility, they are looking for novel solution, they're looking for something that is on the cutting edge from the security monitoring perspective. They expect rapid adaptation to this changing environment and continuous improvement from the managed detection response provider, including participation in kind of consultation and research and development activities of the company. So we validated this all, going across our customers, not only in Estonia and Baltics, but also, syncing it up with our entities that we have across the globe. And basically we figured out, so there are several sets of the, kind of service propositions and technologies that are most suitable for different life cycles of the organization and different practicing IT styles. So let's start with the co-creating style. So first of all, they are, in this stage, I would say that those companies are mostly benefiting from the full outsource of the managed detection and response services, including security operations center, including the incident response services. So there is the most value for those companies from fully outsourcing that. We are speaking here actually about the small and medium-sized businesses as a first kind of client or first company that utilizing this style. But, of course, as a lack of resources and lack of the security competences is very common for those companies, they also require a full managed detection response stack maintenance, detection engineering maintenance, security expertise, as I mentioned, and very, very close cooperation to the managed security service providers. Regarding the technologies, I would say that they would need more like light-weighted monitoring technologies like XDRs or open XDRs, probably accomplished with a low-cost CM solutions. So the cost is a matter, and probably those companies are not yet requiring such sophisticated log aggregation, for driving their businesses. Cost-efficient CTI and, of course, a lot of response automation tools are very welcome for those small and medium-sized startups. Amplifying organization starting to grow, and there is quite a variation in terms of what are the expectations of those organizations are. I would say that they can go for the co-managed approach, like cooperating together closely with the service provider, like just outsourcing a part of the their infrastructure for monitoring and response, or outsourcing only a part of SecOps operations, scope-based or use case-based, for example, or they can go to the 24/7 fully managed outsourced managed detection and response. But here is an important thing that we need to agree on response actions very clearly. Usually they expect to have more interesting things to be done in-house, but more routinious things to be outsourced to the vendor. Support for the custom logs, because those are, again, data-driven organizations. They require already a log aggregation, business and security data working together for supporting the business goals. Security stack specific detection engineering and custom log sources handling, that is very important for those companies as well. They have their own solutions, their own applications usually that driving their business forward. These companies are usually not that much cost sensitive. They can afford to have a bit more expensive things, but they need to be sure that you are competent enough and you are able to bring the most value for them. For them, it's, most of the companies of this sector, they are looking for general purpose log management analysis platforms. I will not name the vendors, you all probably know them. Of course, with the CM capabilities on top of that. Automation enabling technologies like SOAR, very welcomed for those companies. And regarding the XDR, extended detection response solutions, they are quite okay with the mainstream solutions and can afford a bit costly approach in adaptation of those. We speak about the enabling, so this stabilized. This is a classical sector for the managed detection and response business. So stable, big companies that would like to have, outsourced security operations from the vendor. But here again, they are different from the previous one. So because here they want to require more, or they require more control over everything. So they are not that ready to outsource all the operations to the vendor. So they are more accepting the hybrid approach, where they have full control over the response actions, or at least close to full control to that. They're, as I mentioned before, adhere a lot of the the process-driven approach, the compliance-driven approach. There are a lot of requirements to the managed detection and response service provider to them as well. If we speak about a fully outsourced, usually fully outsourced EMDR service, then usually it is, if can be done on top of the other managed IT services, on top of their managed IT provider, or they actually go to the security service provider and again agree on coordinated response actions. Regarding the technology, CM solution still is the top choice for this type of the companies because they already invested in that, invested in creation of custom rules, including user behavior analytics. They practicing constant detection engineering. They have well-defined use cases. They are pretty much okay with their mainstream XDR solutions or multiple XDRs, which actually, in terms of efficiency of the monitoring is a problem for them, but historically they have inherited a couple of XDRs, for example. Exposure management is very important for this kind of companies. That is integrated with the threat intelligence data. And automation is always challenging for these companies. So, they are not benefiting much from the implementations of the source solutions. And transforming when the organization want to change, like all the IT, all the security infrastructure, want to be more efficient in all those aspects. For those companies, they are challenging for the MDR provider from the first place because it's very difficult to monitor transforming infrastructure for the outsourced provider. There can be variations. So, and the advice would be that if the provider is very involved in kind of this transformation, is this change, so then you can basically outsource the monitoring of this moving part of your IT, the renovating part of the IT. If not, then it's more advisable to outsource the monitoring of the stable part of the IT. Again, different operations can be used here, fully outsourced MDR or co-managed MDR. But as I mentioned before, they now are, want to get rid of the old legacy solutions and want to have something on a cutting edge. And for them, on the cutting edge would mean, cloud-native CM solution, for example, that is integrated into the XDR platform, which is flexible, scalable, aligns well with the dynamic nature of the organization. They want to handle logs more properly and to use data pipelining and stuff like that. So OpenXDR, holistic and integrated, that includes all the components together. Cutting-edge CTI platforms, I would say that homemade CTI is not an option for them anymore. They need really require a good service on that. And exposure management solutions, which is a very hot topic at the moment in this market. So conclude all that. So first of all, as business leader, as IT manager, acknowledge your IT style. If you're practicing a wrong IT style, it's not reflecting your business life cycle, you are in trouble. You are in trouble in talking with your management, you are in trouble in budgeting your security and negotiating with the vendors. Avoid blindly copying other organizations because they may be on a different stage of their life cycle, so they have different goals. And engage in a very transparent communication with the EDR provider. They need to understand you well before they can provide you the service that is suitable for your needs. And of course, there will be always trade-offs, always. Regardless to whom you will go, because those trade-offs are usually, very dependent on the constraints of each and every, life cycle stage of your organization. So there is no one-size-fits-all solution. You need to really figure out what is best for you. And we think in EverHack that IT style can be a key to select the right managed detection and response service, right provider for this matter. And I thank you very much. Just come along to our booth. We can talk, and we can show you what we can do in this regard for your organization. Thank you.
Thank you. Maybe questions before you come to the booth? Actually, there is an opportunity also to raise a question to Pavel directly. If not, then you will receive acknowledgement that you've been working hard on this field.
Thank you very much. Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you. And all the best for your services you may provide for us for even more secure reality. Now, thank you very much. Now we will talk about the future, which definitely will require some special skills, right? He is not a super trooper educator or professor. He's the one who will predict us how probably the best possible workforce for tomorrow on this field we are discussing would look like. I assume that you should remove your tie because, Mr. Kantas, everyone knows that the good guys and the bad as well are always making these hoodies, They are in hoodies, right? In dark rooms or something like this. Yes. So now, working for ENISA, for this European Union Agency for Cybersecurity, you have to wear a tie. But you should rely on those guys who are, sometimes good and sometimes bad, and sometimes they are changing. So how we should actually also develop not only skills, but also trust amongst us that, all guys in this room most probably are the good ones for the future security solutions. Can you raise the hand if you are a bad guy? Can we remove you? Okay, the one is going to be removed.
No worries about the army outside, nothing to do with it. Okay, so one of the best introductions I've heard, so thank you for that. So I'm Evangelos Kantas, I'm from ENISA. And we're going to talk today about the European Cybersecurity Skills Framework. So a little bit about ENISA. You might hear some stuff also this morning in the plenary downstairs. So ENISA is the European Union agency. Apologies.
Actually, if you put it closer.
Yeah? Yes. Okay. Is it better? Yeah. Okay, so ENISA is the European Union Agency for Cybersecurity, so its mission is to achieve a common high level of cybersecurity across the EU. So we are working closely with our key stakeholders in order to make the European single market more resilient and to keep Europe's society and citizens digitally secure. Now, our work can be more or less categorized in 4 big areas. So it's a policy development implementation. So we worked closely with legal instruments such as the NIS2 directive, 5G, wallets, etc. We have the operational collaboration, which works with in major incidents and major crises, together with Cyclone and the CSERS network. We have the capacity building that are responsible for the cybersecurity challenges, exercises, capture the flags and good practices, and trusted solutions that mostly deal with cybersecurity certifications, labels, etc. So quickly, what is the issue with skills, cybersecurity skills? So the latest ENISA Cybersecurity Foresight report ranked skill shortage as the second most prominent threat for the years to come, which ranked only 8th the previous year. So we see a pattern, we see that skill shortage is becoming a big issue all over EU. Now, some studies try to estimate the shortage of cybersecurity professionals in the EU market, and they put this number to over 250,000 people. And we expect this number only to go higher as we have more cybersecurity legislative packages coming into play. We have the CRA, Cybersecurity Solidarity Act, and I think there are around 11 at this moment that are coming into play. So this is why I want to introduce you, among the things that we do at ENISA, to the European reference point for cybersecurity skills, which is the European Cybersecurity Skills Framework, or in short, ECSF. So ECSF is a practical tool that can support the identification and understanding of the tasks, knowledges, skills, competences that are related and linked to the cybersecurity personnel in Europe. So imagine this as a comprehensive roadmap that helps to guide us through a complex landscape of cybersecurity responsibilities. So what are the components of the ECSF? The first component is the ECSF roles profile. So this report describes the 12 typical roles that we can find in cybersecurity. So these roles, we will see more about them a bit later. They envelop everything there is to do about in cybersecurity in the EU, and they include relevant information about these roles, such as the expected titles to see this role in the market, the expected deliverables, the expected tasks, knowledge that one needs to have in order to perform into this role. And the second component is the user manual, the ECSF user manual, that actually provides useful examples and practical use cases of how one can benefit from using the ECSF, whether you are an organization, a learning provider, or an individual. So the ECSF tries to, let's say, solve 2 main challenges. So the first one is the cybersecurity workforce shortage. So we can see this in the vertical axis here. So the workforce shortage refers to the lack of qualified cybersecurity personnel in the market that are able to take on cybersecurity tasks and jobs. We saw earlier that the number for this shortage is huge, over 250,000 people, and we're trying to move the needle from unfilled positions towards new professionals formed. And the second challenge that we're trying to tackle is the cybersecurity skills gap, so in the horizontal axis. So the skills gap refers to the lack of appropriate skills among cybersecurity personnel that allows them to do cybersecurity tasks efficiently. So this indicates a mismatch between the skills acquired by people in academic environments and the skills required by organization in the market. So the ECSF comes here in to provide, to bridge this gap and provide a common terminology in cybersecurity skills, so that whether you are a learning provider, an organization, or individual can understand the same thing around cybersecurity roles. So the main objectives of the ECSF are to create a common understanding, a common language between the beneficiaries of the ECSF, to facilitate cybersecurity skills recognition among professionals, and to support the design of cybersecurity-related training programs, certifications, and academic programs that will allow more people to come into the cybersecurity market. So what are the benefits of using ECSF and who are the main beneficiaries? So the first group is organizations, so it's the industry. So they can use the ECSF in order to make their cybersecurity human resource planning, in order to have a common language, in order to create new vacancies, to upskill and reskill their personnel, to have a common terminology for cybersecurity audits, tenders, and procurement procedures. The second group that can benefit from the ECSF are learning providers. So the ECSF can help learning providers in order to create short-term programs, long academic courses, new learning curricula, in order to bring more people into the right cybersecurity profiles in the market. And the third group is actually individuals that are looking for a cybersecurity career. So the ECSF provides a comprehensive roadmap in order to allow them to decide, to define in which cybersecurity role they're more fitted and where they want to plan their career around. So what are these 12 cybersecurity profiles that are discussed in the ECSF? So, and we strongly believe that they encompass everything around cybersecurity in the EU. So we have the Chief Information Security Officer, we have the Cyber Incident Responder, Cyber Legal Policy and Compliance Officer, Cyber Threat Intelligence Specialist, Cybersecurity Architect, Cybersecurity Auditor, Cybersecurity Educator, Cybersecurity Implementer, Cybersecurity Researcher, Cybersecurity Risk Manager, Digital Forensic Investigator, and Penetration Tester. So these are the 12 profiles that include every task around cybersecurity and including the ECSF. So the framework for each of these roles includes, it's a snapshot of, as I said before, on the main tasks, main responsibilities, main titles that you can encounter the job in the market. So, but also a small description of what this role is about. For example, the CISO manages an organization's cybersecurity strategy and its implementation to ensure that digital systems, services, and assets are adequately secure and protected, but also the expected deliverables for this role in an organization. So for the CISO, it is a cybersecurity strategy for the organization and cybersecurity policies. And this is a more detailed snapshot of what one can see in the ECSF. So on the left-hand side, you can see, for example, in the CISO, the alternative titles, summary statement, mission, deliverables, and main tasks that they are expected to deliver. And on the right-hand side, you can see the key skills, key knowledge that they should have, and the mapping to the competencies framework, in order to see what one must know in order to be in this role. So with those two perspectives, the ECSF manages to bridge market and education. So from in one hand, we provide the let's say the workplace perspective. So the mission, deliverables, and tasks, what the employer expects us to do into this role. And on the right-hand side, for each profile, we provide the learning perspective. So what are the skills, knowledges, and competences for this role? So the ECSF bridges the learning environment with the industry environment. So now, a quick theoretical but quite real-life scenario of using the ACSF. Now imagine a startup, a cloud service provider company. They're really new to the market. They're developed quite quickly. They have no or very little cybersecurity team inside the company. So they attract more investors, but in order to the investors to invest money, they require, look, you need to have a better cybersecurity inside the company. You need to have a competitive advantage. You need to secure your products and the clients. So what the founders did, they sat with the ECSF down and they tried to see what are the profiles that are missing from this company. And what they identified is first, what we miss is a CISO to give us a cybersecurity strategy inside the company. What else we're missing is one cybersecurity legal officer to guide us through the regulatory landscape around cybersecurity. One cybersecurity architect to help us internally, but also with our products. 3 cybersecurity implementers to help us implement this strategy. And 1 cyber incident responder to help us with potential cybersecurity incidents. And now it is where they get to work. So they try to see how they can fill these positions. So what they saw is that for the cybersecurity legal officer, they already have a legal officer that was very keen in going into cybersecurity regulatory matters. So they decided to upskill the legal officer into cybersecurity legal officer. For the cybersecurity architect, they already had an ICT architect, again, that also practiced some cybersecurity. So they decided to upskill this employee into a more cybersecurity architecture role. And they had 3 of the ICT specialists that they had that were very interested into cybersecurity. Again, they decided to provide some certification and some trainings in order to upskill them into cybersecurity implementers. Now, for the CISO of the company, this is a position that they couldn't fill from the knowledge and experience inside. So they used the ECSF in order to create appropriate job vacancy, so attract someone from the market. And for the cyber incident responder, they needed someone 24/7 available. So they decided to to ask for a contractual service. So they outsourced this position. So this is a good case study, a good example of how a company can use the ECSF in order to leverage its benefits and fill these positions. So the ECSF helped this company understand what cybersecurity roles they're missing, identify the workforce requirements in order to fill them, evaluate their processes and structures on how to do that, reskill and upskill existing employees, support the recruiting of new people inside the company, and of course increase the cybersecurity capacity, and in the end increase the resilience of the company and make their products much more secure. So this is a practical example of how to use the ECSF in an organization. Now, what some of the benefits in the market of using this framework? Now, in the end of last year, in Ireland, Cyber Ireland did a big study about the open vacancies all around Ireland, and in order to identify what are the positions that are most in demand, and map them into with the ECSF. So what they found is cybersecurity implementer is by far the most demanding job in Ireland, and then followed by cyber incident responder, cybersecurity risk manager, and the CISO. Similarly, the ISC2, the ISC squared certification organization did a very big similar survey around Europe with more than 2,000 respondents. And what they found is that all over Europe, cybersecurity architect is one of the most demanding roles at the moment of the study, followed closely by cybersecurity implementer, cyber incident responder, and digital forensics investigator. So other ways that the market can benefit from using the framework. So this is a market analysis that took place in 22 and 23, and trying to see, apart from the position most in demand, which positions are well paid in the market. So you can see with yellow color what positions are well paid at the time of the study, which positions are evolving. So we can see with red color evolving position, and of course with green position with great demand around Europe. Other ways we can benefit. So a government, for example, can use the ACSF in order to map upcoming cybersecurity regulations with cybersecurity positions that will be in demand. So, for example, using the ACSF in order to see the requirements of the NIS2 directive, we can see that the positions that will be in demand, okay, now it's into force, but the position that will be in demand is a CISO, Cyber Incident Responder, Cybersecurity Risk Manager, Cyber Legal Policy and Compliance Officer, and Penetration Testers. So you can see a government can see from a legislative package that will come into force like 2 years in the future, what are the positions that will be in demand, so they can prepare appropriately. Same for the Cyber Solidarity Act and for the Managed Secure Service Provider certification. We also have seen a lot of implementations of the ACSF in member states around Europe. So, for example, in Portugal, their national skills framework have been mapped to the ACSF. In Cyprus, their Digital Security Authority are using the ACSF for their internal recruitment. In Spain, INCIBE is promoting the ACSF as their national standards for skills. In Italy, the Cybersecurity Agency is developing vocational training courses that are based on the ACSF. And in Poland, Cybersecurity Skills Council has adopted the ACSF adapting it to the Polish concept. And at least 20 member states agree that the ACSF is the common taxonomy that should be used around cybersecurity skills. And of course, all this endorsement is helping. So there are certification organizations such as the ISACA, ISC Squared, SANS, CompTIA, that have dedicated mapping and pages that are trying to link ECSF with their certifications that they offer. So this opens new pathways to individuals that want to invest in cybersecurity, they want to increase their knowledge and join the cybersecurity market. And another way that we try to complement the ECSF framework is with the CyberHead, the Cybersecurity Higher Education Database. You can see more in if you scan this QR code. So this is a database that we have developed that actually collects all the cybersecurity academic programs, such as master degrees and bachelor degrees around Europe, and we're mapping this to the ECSF. So again, one can see if they want to follow, for example, a specific profile, specific cybersecurity profile, where they can find a suitable course around Europe. So this database had 125 programs in 2022, and currently is even more. Currently, I think it's 162 programs around Europe inside this database. And of course, we can extract also useful trends from this database, such as the number of graduates in cybersecurity around Europe year to year, but also the number of female graduates in cybersecurity courses around Europe and for each individual member state. And of course, speaking about female graduates, and I'm leaving you with this final slide, it is really important in order to close the cybersecurity workforce shortage gap to tap into the underrepresented talent pool, such as women, for example. So what we did was we launched with this Break the Bias Code campaign in order to raise awareness that individuals from different backgrounds can bring unique strengths and perspectives that can benefit massively the cybersecurity field, especially when they're working into teams. So you can find more on this campaign in this link that we provide. And please join us in promoting diversity and inclusiveness into the cybersecurity field. So thank you very much, and available for questions.
Thank you. If there will be questions, even before questions, I give you this as a proof that you came, and thank you. Yes, please, question.
Thank you. Ivar Spacenex is my name. What can you comment about comparison of different type of certifications provided by ISC2, CompTIA, ISACA? I'm asking because in job position advertisements, sometimes where just one is asked. Does ENISA have some kind of comparison?
Yes. Okay, thank you so much for this. So, this is one of the reasons that we want the ACSF to become a common framework for cybersecurity profiles. Because we have all this fragmentation of certifications between certification providers. So what we're doing with the ACSF and what have these organizations did, they have mapped security profiles with their certifications. So if you have a job title that requires a specific certification, by using the ACSF, you can see what other certifications are, let's say, equal to this, that are linked to this profile. So what we're trying to achieve is for when you have a job post, not to ask for a specific certification, but to ask for a specific profile snapshot as it is in the ACSF. So let's say that you have a job posting for a penetration tester, then this is linked with specific certification from all the organizations. So each one of them should be equal when someone applies for this vacancy. So we do not compare certification, we do not rank them. This is not the mission of ENISA or this work, but we want for these organizations to work together in order to open these new pathways to people to come into the cybersecurity field.
Thank you. So let's open one more opportunity, and this will be to put you in a different role. Evangelos, we were specially searching for a kind of typical Greek names in your panel, like Ruta, Paulius, and Christo. I think three are almost
I think you
Greek.
manage this, yes.
Yeah, in a way, yeah. But actually they are from here, the top speakers for you, the senior researcher for Riga Technical University, Ruta Pirta. I'd like you to come, please, Ruta. And then Paulius Daukšas, the cybersecurity consultant for NRD Cybersecurity from Lithuania. Hi, labas. And also Christo Karo, the head of infrastructure and the cloud services for Primend. So please, yes, take your microphones, and also, yeah, just one, and you. And now I nominate you as a super moderator for this very big question, the awareness of the strong security culture. Just this morning, I heard a good suggestion from a lady. She's doing also good career on this matter in local Ministry of Defense in Latvia. She said that as a culture in Europe, we should learn how to use technologies slower. That when we do it too quick or too much, too intensive, we actually lose our mind, but also the security issues we do not respect. So would you share this as an entrance point for your discussion, please?
Interesting perspective. Although sometimes even if we want to slow down, the industry does not let us do that. Wow, so I will welcome my fellow panelists as well. Then you have this unique setup here. So we have here for you today, we have the academic perspective from Ruta, we have the cybersecurity consultancy from Paulius here, and also the industry, CISO, we have here Christo. So by opening this panel, I would start with a question for all of you. So first of all, I would like to introduce yourselves and tell us with a few words what are the most significant cybersecurity challenges that small and medium-sized enterprises face today, particularly when it comes to resource constraints, as we know many of these companies face. So let's start with Ruta.
Yes, thank you. So I'm Ruuta Pirta. I'm from Riga Technical University. I'm acting there as both educator. So I have several courses in cybersecurity governance, and also I'm a senior researcher. And one of my research areas actually is cybersecurity education, how to provide it more engaging and useful for the new specialists. So regarding the question itself, so I think that one of the biggest constraints actually for SMEs is we saw this nice framework that we are using as well in our study design. But if you are looking at SMEs perspective, actually it's not 12 roles there. It's in the better situation, it's just a one role who is a combination of best possible competencies of these 12 roles. So actually it's a big competency need. And there is also, of course, involved the outside service providers. That's why also this third-party risk management is very important for SMEs nowadays. So I think this is from competence perspective two main challenges.
Okay. Interesting perspective. So I will go to Kristo for the same question.
Yeah, hello, my name is Kristo Karu and I'm from actually Tallinn Primend office, and I am head of infrastructure and cloud services. Also working as a CISO in Primend. Now, if you're talking about like the problems or what are the problems that the SMEs are facing, is my opinion is lack of resources. Actually, one thing is like lack of money. Money is always a problem. And the other problem is actually a lack of certified and qualified employees who can do the work.
Okay. Yes, indeed. Okay. This indeed are certification and qualifications. So, Paulius, what do you see about this from the consultancy perspective?
Hello, everyone. I just wanted to ask everyone, so who are from SMEs who can qualify yourself as an SME here in the room? Couple of hands. So I think this is very good because these are the panel and topics relevant to you. And I'm from company NRD Cybersecurity from Lithuania. We work globally to build cybersecurity capabilities for the governments, critical sectors, private companies. We work in my country, Lithuania, with a lot of governmental, private companies as well, and helping their cybersecurity resilience. So when I think about SME and cybersecurity constraints that they might have, I always think about the resilience. So SME has to think from the business continuity point of view and from the resilience point of view. So I have to think about resilient technology. I have to use known vendors, Microsoft, whatever, Google, that I know that they care about the cybersecurity and that they are putting their resources there. So resilient technology is something that I imagine from the SME perspective would be crucial. Second one is, I would say, resilient people. So my employees, how are they feel about cybersecurity? Do they understand the common threats? Third one is, of course, my processes which I run. So are they resilient, and if they are breached or broken, so can I restore them quickly? So these are the challenges I think that SMEs might face in terms of the cybersecurity. And another thought that I had is that SME is not necessarily should be classified in cybersecurity as SME. I think that as all the frameworks and good practices say, that you have to treat your business from the risk perspective. So you identify the risks, and in terms of the risks, I don't see a lot of differentiation between the size of the company. So it depends on the risk rather on the size. Once you know the risks that are relevant to you, so you can think about the business continuity. So yeah, I will stop here. Thank you.
Okay, interesting. So small and medium enterprises face just as many threats as possible larger organizations. Okay. So staying into the cybersecurity for SMEs, let's say topic, so there are a lot of misconceptions with cybersecurity around SMEs. How can they overcome them, these misconceptions? For example, that cybersecurity could be really expensive or whatever. So let's hear the industry perspective. So Crystal, can you help us?
Yeah, sure. I think main thing here is the thinking that we are too small to be attacked. And in the other hand, the issue is actually attackers are knowing that you are small, you have weaker security systems, so it's even easier to come into your systems. And I think how we can overcome this is like building more the awareness of cybersecurity threats, sharing more stories about the incidents, about how we are like building secure systems and stuff like that. So yeah, those are like my ideas.
Okay, yes. So no one is too small to be attacked. Interesting. Paulius, maybe you as well, you talk with a lot of clients. What about this?
Cybersecurity is an expense. So it's a big one, and everyone knows this one. I totally agree with Christo on his points that we are small, not important, so we are not susceptible to the attacks. And another thought, it's a bit provoking, but I like it, and I will share it with you. So if cybersecurity is an expense, so maybe it's a good time to think about how you can put this as an enabler for your business. So for example, I'm building a new functionality for my platform, and maybe I can communicate that to my customers that I have on the side cybersecurity team which is ready to take any issues that you might face in terms of this platform. They are 24/7 ready. So maybe this can shift a bit of mindset of the business owners that, okay, this is an enabler that I can maybe even attract more customers through that approach. So it's, of course, difficult. It's not something that you can say and then don't do. If you say that it's an enabler, so then you have to really put some work there. And these are the thoughts. Thanks.
So cybersecurity has a competitive advantage. Okay, this makes sense, of course, yes. Okay, I want to ask you about the regulatory issues and NIS2. Now, NIS2 is coming to play now. I believe Lithuania and Latvia have already transposed this. So this brings into scope a lot of SMEs as well, which was not the case with the previous NIS. So how can small and medium enterprises navigate through these cybersecurity regulatory challenges without feeling overwhelmed? Ruta, maybe you can tell us.
Yes, I think the first point actually is to raise this understanding to SMEs that actually these regulations are here to protect them, not like to raise new obligatory requirements. Second one, I think it's really clearly stated in this too, and also another best practice is that it's risk-based approach. So firstly, they need to actually understand what are those risks and then start with the small steps, start with the most significant ones, as it's not possible to reduce all risks in one time. It's a continuous process. So yeah, I would say risk-based approach and small steps forward.
Okay, that makes sense indeed. Crystal?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm allowed to say, but keep it simple, stupid. And by that I mean SMEs should first understand what is the approach and what is the requirements for us, because there is a lot of like vendors already who are offering some kind of NIS2 compliant software, And based on that, it is hard for the small businesses. They don't understand NIS2. They don't understand all those like technical details behind that. So yeah, first you need to understand what I need to do. Then you can ask help from the IT support companies or some legal companies, and in the end, it won't be that hard.
Indeed, I think what you say also puts a little pressure on the cybersecurity authorities of the countries, because they also need to support SMEs, to provide guidance, to provide tools in order to do that. Paulius, your thoughts on this?
I would take the thought of Ruta and continue. So you have your risk register, and then you have to partner, because you are small, medium, so you will not have in-house capabilities. Maybe it will be too expensive. So you have to partner. And one of the ways how to navigate this NIS2 and other regulations, DORA and others which are shaking a bit of the industry, is by finding reliable partners which you can trust, and that you know that they care about your business, that they are not there for selling, but they rather have competences, they have skills, they can talk to you normally, understand your business objectives, and try to suggest the best approach. And maybe it's not even that same company who would deliver you the services, but rather guide you. So find a trust and reliable partner that you can trust. You can call them and you can discuss and align. So what should I do next? Understanding my infrastructure, understanding my risk registers, and etc. So I think this is a good way, and also leaning towards the national authorities. So they are there for us, not for anyone else. So we can go to them, we can speak with them as well and ask for guidance. We can have normal discussions with them, and I think it's important to have that.
Okay, so trusted collaborators and help from the government. Yes, indeed. So I want to talk about a little bit about cybersecurity culture. Now, we've heard the saying that culture is a strategy for breakfast. So how important is the cybersecurity culture inside a company, and how can, let's say, the management of a company create a cybersecurity culture without fearing resistance from their employees? So, Ruta, can I ask you on this?
Yes, I think also in recent research it shows that actually it doesn't matter how good technologies we have in case if our staff is not trained enough. So actually the human is kind of the weakest link there. And how to change it? I would say it's kind of classical change management theory that needs to be applied. So lead by example from management perspective, make the sense of urgency, why we need cybersecurity, raise awareness by some training, showing some incidents, some bad examples maybe. So, but still I believe that the most important one is this lead by example from higher management perspective.
Lead by example, yes, of course. Paulius, you want to tell us about this?
Yes, cyber hygiene. So I don't think it should be different for any organization. So you have to have hygiene. So in the morning you wake up, you brush your teeth, you wash your face, and then you go to work. So this is normal. It's a hygiene so that everyone is happy about you, you don't smell bad, and blah, blah, blah. So similar to the SMEs, and so it's a hygiene, so all the best practices that you have to follow. And there are a lot of good resources available online. You just have to use Google, and you will find a good tools where you can guide your employees to take some trainings. I will take an example of, again, my country's National Cybersecurity Center. So they have a platform. I did a course a couple of days ago, and they have a dedicated module for cyber hygiene in the workplace. So 15 modules, you can go through the modules in 45 minutes. I did in maybe a bit longer because I was doing something else in between. And then you have a test, and then you have a certificate that you spent this amount of time for cyber hygiene. So there are many, many tools, not only this one in my country, there are ones in EU platform. I can think about several of them. So maybe a Rewire can be a good example, so where you can also check, and you can, even yourself, you can get enrolled and do trainings. And of course, as Ruta mentioned, the top management, everything starts from the top. So if the top has a good hygiene, so this will cascade to all of the employees' levels.
Exactly, yes. Also, NIS2 brings huge responsibility to the top management as well for cybersecurity matters. So, as you said, also Ruta, leading by example is, one-way street now. You cannot avoid it. Christo, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I agree that everything starts from the top end, and if the management is on board, then everybody else are also on board, and it's not like only like one guy's problem, or like I don't know, CISO's problem to build up the cybersecurity in company or build up the awareness. It's like all employees' problem to build it up.
Okay, thank you for this. So before we move on into more skills-related questions, I want to give the opportunity to the audience to ask questions to our panelists. Is it something that you want to ask, anything that is in your mind?
Or argue, maybe, you know.
Yeah,
fight
you do not
against.
agree with.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah, an argument.
We can also count on the second row here.
Not argue, but the student type question. Is this cyber hygiene learning information in Lithuanian National Cyber Center is available to Latvian inhabitants too? Can we borrow something?
Learn. So we have, I think, someone from the cybersecurity center. They can clarify this for you, but you can just create a profile. And a couple of days ago, I translated the materials just by using the web, translate to English, and it was quite okay. So probably.
So the thing URLI is in Lithuania. This is why you are saying Google Translate might be needed. But we speak Lithuanian almost every day in Latvia. Who works for National Cybersecurity Center in Lithuania? Can this gentleman, the citizen of Latvia, go and get the certificate 15 times 45 minutes? So it's one day and he is certified, yes?
Next year, yes.
Okay, so next year is in 3 weeks, actually.
Yes.
Okay, next year, be patient. Next year, first job you do, 1st of January? No, 2nd of January. 2nd of January, go. All Latvians will be online in Lithuania. Good? Okay, go on if you still have things to discuss.
So indeed, language barrier is something very, very real for Europe that, for example, the United States don't have to struggle with. So imagine, for example, a vulnerability being discovered in one country, and you have a notification, for example, that goes out in their language, and this can be difficult for other countries to pick it up, but this is very true out there. So, okay, moving on to some questions around more cybersecurity skills. From your perspective, how can educational institutions and training programs better prepare students for the evolving demands of a career in cybersecurity? So I will first ask Ruta, who's from the academic area.
Yes, actually we did a recent study concerning education in cybersecurity and how to make it like more how to kind of more align it according to actually industry requirements. And there was actually some good findings. First was this needs assessment and also kind of agile change of study courses, because let's be honest, some of our courses has been developed some time ago, and they need to be changed and updated all the time actually. And this is what we are also doing. The second thing is actually, maybe it's more like question how to involve, how to make it more interesting, engaging for the students. As currently cybersecurity, of course, it is one of the top required skill, and also students are willing to learn it, but from other angle, we have about more than 2,000 missing specialists. That's why there's also this gamification approach. For example, we have created several games where we are simulating actually incident response concerning different team roles, different aspects like crisis communication, technical things, and so on. So actually students are more prepared firstly to the real life, as we are simulating real-life scenarios. And secondly, they are more engaged because there is this gamification things, and it's not only kind of, let's say, boring lectures for 3 hours without any practice.
Oh, indeed. So gamification also, there are a lot of studies that indicate how useful it is to engage people and create good lasting memories. Paulius?
I was last year in one conference and they had cybersecurity game for Dungeons and Dragons. So they created like the roles and everyone sit and they had to do the heist for the bakery, exploit some vulnerabilities and etc. etc. So it was very engaging and very relevant, and people were smiling afterwards, and the gamification aspect is very important. I'm not an expert in this question, so I would just thought I would share some of the thoughts that I can have, is that maybe partnerships between the educational institutions and private companies, so that the people who are studying could also do some apprenticeships or practical work for some companies. This would then maybe build a career path for those individuals, for those persons. And of course, it's already happening, but just on the bigger scale, if you are an organization, maybe you can contribute, maybe you can somehow partner with the educational institutions and see how you can also benefit and put input into your country's cybersecurity ecosystem. So it's not always about someone else, it's also what you can do, maybe from the private company. We in NRD Cybersecurity, we do internship program each year for free people to work in our SOC. So we have 24/7 SOC, and the turnover of the people is quite big, and everyone faces the same challenges. So yeah, this internship program is quite good, is to have some people, maybe not with extensive skills, but with the spark in the eyes that they want to try, they want to learn, and you combine them with already existing analysts, and then you see if that person can grow into the full-time employee or not. And yeah, we do this each year. We would like to do more, but of course there are constraints which are there. So maybe these could be the things.
Okay. And the same question, head of infrastructure perspective. So how can educational programs better help the new generation?
Yeah, IT is changing every day, and so I think also the school like learning part is also need to be like changed like rapidly. You cannot teach same thing like in 5 years, because IT is changing. And we do see that also, like when the young IT specialists are coming in, then yes, they have learned like how the computer works, but there is a lack of knowledge, because they have learned like old things already. and also like the hands-on real life examples that they should also go over in the schools.
Okay, thank you, Crystal. Now, in order to indulge my friend on the second row, who asked about certifications. So, what do you think? What role do you think certifications play in validating cybersecurity skills, and how important are they for a cybersecurity career? And Ruta.
Yes, maybe just some background from previous research about actually what are hiring Latvian cybersecurity like companies. So we did this research, and it was stated that 70% actually are looking for formal degree in computer science or cybersecurity, and 30 are looking for some certificates on formal degree in combination with maybe some bachelor in non-IT field. If you are looking from certificates perspective, I think it really depends on actual institution, what is certification body. For example, this is ISACA certificates in industry, they have been perceived almost the same as a bachelor degree. If you are looking from some simple certificates that we can get in 15 minutes in online, of course they are maybe not so valid nowadays.
Okay, so Paulius?
I would twist this question a bit, because from the SME point of view, this certification can be a good criteria for selecting a vendor or a solution, because nowadays it's quite difficult to compare and to see the advantages, disadvantages, and there are not many criteria that you can look into and do the comparison for the solutions that you want and for the services that you want, for CISOs as a service or SOC as a service or audits. So certification can be a tangible criteria for companies to compare. So if you want to have a solution from company X and company Y, so maybe you can check their employees, you can check their certification level, diversity of the certificates that they have, the time. What I want to say is that how long the certificates are there in the company that you are thinking to buy something from. So certificates can put this perspective to help you evaluate the providers for some solutions that you might need for cybersecurity.
Okay, thank you, Paulius. So slowly closing the panel and the skills questions. So I want to ask about the advent of new technologies like the AI and quantum computing. So how do you see the future of cybersecurity skills, when these technologies are now into our lives? So, Crystal, do you want to tell us?
So AI is here. We all know that, and that's fine, and that's cool. But I can say that people are also needed. AI can find some kind of threats in your logs, but people or humans are still needs to be there to validate them and confirm them. Let's see what happens in the future, but yeah, AI is helping already, and it will help us more in the future.
Okay, so you see humans and technology working together?
Yes, definitely, definitely.
Okay, this is a nice view of the future. Ruta?
Yes, I'm just thinking that actually, in the field of cybersecurity, these new technologies will not cause loss of some jobs, but only will increase actually the competency and roles gap, because hackers are using AI to assess infrastructures. That's why also we need to know how to protect it.
Okay, indeed. Very nice perspective. Paulius?
Yes, just a short one and complementing again Ruta. Just threat landscape is expanding due to these new technologies. So we will have to adapt. We have to adapt quickly and not to lose focus. But yeah, people are the most important link, I would say. So let's focus on the people, understand the threat landscape is expanding due to this, and try to navigate. That's the idea.
Okay, thank you so much for this. So if you want, I just want to ask you for a final thought for our audience here.
Some thoughts, some arguments, something?
Anyone?
Can I actually? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to go back about this management and their like what they thought about security. So a real life case regarding the guest Wi-Fi in our company. So we changed our access points, and there is a authentication where user must enter employee's email, and the employee accepts and gives permission to use this guest Wi-Fi. So we implemented it, and the same day the CEO sends emails that, hey guys, that's too complex. Let's move back to just a password. So it's a state joint stock company, and so it's not.
Okay.
And even the member of the board who is responsible for IT said, well, CEO said so then yeah, we can do that. There are nothing.
Okay. Okay, I don't know if this was a question, but what I can say is that usually, indeed, the most resistance comes from the upper management. So this is why it is essential to raise awareness even in those levels. I mean, this is where you start, and this is what Ruta said, this is what the panelists said, that they need to lead by example. Because if their example is, we need to bypass Wi-Fi security, then this is the culture that the company will have. I don't know, any of the panelists want to say a few things on that?
I just want to maybe supplement. I'm a former IT auditor, so I have seen also companies where they have like normal access control policy and VIP access control policy.
Okay. Yeah, there is so what you can do, you can sell with the fear.
Okay. Normally they say with the sex and blood and things like these, the violence should be. But was it fair?
What I suggest is to try to maybe engage with some partners, maybe some other companies who have such practices. Try to have some peers maybe, and maybe they can share how they do, how maybe partners can share how it's possible, just awareness, how to put more awareness for the top management that this is complex, yes, this is how others are living with this idea, these are the suggestions that governments are proposing, these are the best practices, you are the leader, so you choose. You have to educate and then they take the decisions. So peers typically works good. So when you know someone from a similar company, then maybe they can come and share how they overcome this obstacle. By talking, I would say just try to communicate, and maybe this would work. But in reality, it's a very good example. It's a lot of obstacles.
Thank you, Paulius. Can I ask you kind of general question, but since you are representing like different aspects of the same family, how happy you are for this very reason that there is any sign other, I learned today actually 12, if not more, different kind of regulations that are actually acting what you should do in your business. Not really liberal economy up until now in any other areas. There were, you know, normal market demand. The business was asking for next solutions, stages, innovation, something like this. But when we turn to the security issue, I mean, how good it is for a total, you know, general development. Maybe we are too much in a papers hiding, fulfilling some things, and then people in other side of ocean in United States, they maybe care more about this, real free market, new innovations in whatever aspect, not only probably in cyber security. Over-regulation as a problem for actually the big boost in your type of the business.
A very good one. Cybersecurity is not the most important thing. I don't know anyone who was killed by cybersecurity. So is it the most critical thing for business? Probably not. Overall understanding and the hygiene level will never be raised unless there is a regulation. So if you want a better hygiene, if you want that everyone in the morning will brush their teeth, because it's good, then you don't need to go to the dentist more often. Maybe you don't need more medical attention, so governments can say there, and there. So if you want to raise the hygiene level, probably the regulation is one of the ways forward for that.
Okay. So you just accept this life, a European style. Good. Hygiene is important. I agree. Yeah.
Okay. I want to say that cybersecurity, I believe, is important, but I think we had a death related to cybersecurity, I think in a hospital due to cybersecurity attack. But nevertheless, we see more and more cyber-physical attacks. We see cybersecurity incidents being tied to acts of war. So it is getting critical. Now, we also saw in the Draghi report that over-regulation stifles innovation in Europe, especially in small and medium enterprises. But that doesn't mean we need to banish all of it. Better yet, we need to find synergies among these regulations. So this is also, even though I work for an EU agency, this is also a call to the people writing these regulations. So, for example, if you have a cybersecurity regulation asking for a vulnerability report A, another one asking for a vulnerability report B, maybe centralize this, maybe harmonize this, make it easier for the small enterprises, because the big ones, they can deal with it. They have like an army of people out there, but make it easier for the smaller ones. This is what I would say.
Good. Anyone else? No? Yes? You want? Yes? Sorry,
you scared her.
I mean, yeah, but I'm sorry for you. I know that you received that type of the bag before, right? And you, of course, as well, Angelos. So I give you to both colleagues.
I also want to thank our
and actually, can you please make applause because people were working hard. Thank you. Now. Thanks a lot. We will now switch to the small break, which is very important break to visit expo area, but also the coffee break with colleagues or competitors. And then we reassemble downstairs in the big hall in the plenary session at 16:30. So see you there in 30 minutes then, yeah? Also for you TV spectators, you can go online in 30 minutes and search for what happened in these parallel sessions. And also, of course, we will have a special award ceremony, which will be even more nice tradition than the CyberBazaar itself.